Welcome to the True AI Podcast. Today is Friday, February 13th, 2026. We are closing out a week that began with a $33 trillion red alert and ends with a global governance fracture at the United Nations.
It's been a week of extreme volatility, Sarah. While we saw the first mass-produced robo-taxis roll out in Guangzhou on Tuesday, today we're seeing a freight panic on Wall Street that mirrors the SaaS apocalypse we reported on last week. The speed of disruption is outstripping the market's ability to price risk.
We begin with a historic yet divisive vote at the United Nations. The General Assembly has officially approved a 40-member independent scientific panel on AI, voting 117 to 2.
This is intended to be the IPCC for artificial intelligence. Just as the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change provides a scientific baseline for global climate policy, this panel is mandated to issue an annual State of the Science report on AI risks and capabilities.
But the headline is the United States' no vote. The U.S. mission argued that AI governance shouldn't be dictated by a centralized UN body, but rather by like-minded alliances.
It's a matter of sovereignty and proprietary control. The panel includes figures like Nobel laureate Maria Ressa and experts from India and Brazil to ensure the Global South has a voice. However, without U.S. support, the panel may struggle to gain the auditing access it needs to examine the closed-source models of the trillion-dollar giants like the newly merged SpaceX XAI.
Turning to the markets, we are seeing a repeat of the SaaS apocalypse in the logistics sector. Shares in DHL and Nagel plunged yesterday after a small firm, Algorhythm Holdings, RIME, released a white paper on its SemiCab platform.
The data is what caused the panic. Algorhythm claims that by using network-level AI rather than traditional lane-based planning, they have achieved a 70% reduction in empty freight miles.
They are reporting that a single operator using their AI can manage 2,000 loads annually, allowing a company to scale its freight volume by 300% to 400% without a single new hire. This sent C.H. Robinson down 14.5% and RXO down 20.5% in a single session.
It's the Agentic era hitting physical infrastructure. If you can optimize load capacities to this degree, the cost of moving goods, and thus the price of consumer electronics and groceries, could drop significantly. But for investors, the realization that a $6 million company can wipe billions off the value of legacy giants is creating Category 5 paranoia.
In a move toward more constructive applications, MIT's JPAL has launched Project AI Evidence. This initiative, funded by Google and AWS, is designed to move beyond the Silicon Valley hype and test if AI can actually move the needle on global poverty.
They're funding 8 rigorous studies. In Kenya, they're using AI to help teachers adapt lesson plans to specific student gaps. In Italy, they're working with the Ministry of Education to use AI to detect and mitigate gender bias in grading and student evaluations.
I'm particularly interested in the Kenya Skill Matching Project. They're using AI to identify overlooked skills in youth who lack formal education, matching them to jobs they'd otherwise never find.
It's an evidence-based approach to scaling. However, as we discussed with the UN panel, the risk of digital colonialism remains. If these models are trained primarily on Western datasets, their advice for a student in Nairobi or a worker in Mumbai might be fundamentally misaligned with local realities.
We must address a stark warning from the University of Sussex. A new study in Nature Reviews Clean Technology warns that the explosion in AI data centers is essentially eating our green energy gains.
The growth gap is the issue. While solar and wind are growing at record rates, AI energy demand is growing at an average of 15 to 22% per year. We aren't replacing fossil fuels with renewables, we're simply using renewables to feed the new AI load, while coal and gas plants stay online to cover the baseline.
We previously reported on the 10-gigawatt infrastructure plan for the NVIDIA OpenAI Alliance. That single project consumes more power than some small nations. The Sussex study suggests that without a mandate to limit unnecessary AI tasks, our 2030 net zero goals are officially at risk.
There is a green compute response, however. The 3E network announced the Nordic Compute Gateway in Finland today, designed to run entirely on low-cost, carbon-neutral power. The question is whether we can build these hubs fast enough to offset the drain.
Finally, a brief but unsettling update from Anthropic. Following the great XAI exodus of Jimmy Ba earlier this week, Anthropic's lead safeguards researcher, Mrinank Sharma, has resigned.
His public letter was cryptic, stating simply that the world is in peril from interconnected crises. He's leaving the tech industry entirely to pursue a degree in poetry.
When the person tasked with building the brakes for Claude 4.6 quits to write poetry because he believes the situation is beyond technical fixes, it sends a very specific message to the industry.
From the UN floor to the shipping docks of the world, the agentic era is no longer a forecast, it is an active disruption.
The tools are getting more efficient, but the systems, both environmental and financial, are showing signs of severe strain. Thank you for joining us for the True AI Podcast.